Hello there ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, today is my review of the Resident Evil 2 remake, which was released just about 3 weeks or so ago. And it does say review, but it's going to be more so of a ramble and a talk about the game than a proper review. But I will be saying my thoughts on the game, the pros and cons, and where I think they went wrong, or I think they nailed, completely and got right. And obviously I could talk about the potential Resident Evil 3 remake, but I'll make that for a separate video, seeing as the Resident Evil channel's my series and my favourite gaming series. Thought this would be good to do sometime this year. I am going to be doing my hardcore playthrough as Leon and Claire. It's going to be a walkthrough, but it's not going to be the best. You know what the Resident Evil community is like. A very holier-than-thou community. A lot of annoying fans. Probably one of the most annoying fan bases out there, really. There's a lot of other big, gaming series of annoying fans. I think Resident Evil is up there with some of the worst, if I may say so. But, yeah, I didn't want to do my blind playthrough. I recorded it, and then I decided that doing no commentary in a game like that wasn't good, because there's so much backtracking, and I love that aspect of the remake, I'll get to that, but I do love that aspect of the remake, but I felt like without commentary, a blind let's play, it wasn't suited to that style. Yeah, I didn't want to do commentary at the same time, because it would have taken me out of the zone of playing the game. It would have taken me out of that, and yeah, it's just the way I felt. But I will be doing a commentary. Leon A and Claire A. I don't like the B scenarios. But anyway, we'll get into that. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say here, we're going to be talking about the audio of the game, the achievements / trophies that the game has, the delivery, how good the game was delivered by Capcom themselves, playability, visuals, graphics, and an overall score. I've copied the PlayStation 4 trophies / Xbox achievements website style of review. So first of all, we're going to talk about the audio in the game, and unfortunately the original soundtrack is added DLC, so it'll cost you just under £3 here in the UK, and how many dollars or euros that is based on where you are, I'm not sure. It's not that much, but a bit of a joke that you have to pay for it, but pay for it I did. And you know what, after my first playthrough I haven't used the original audio, the actual music from the game. I'm using the original soundtrack, and the original soundtrack works really well, and it showcases just how well it's aged. It doesn't sound that silly. All the music from the original game fits in the remake. It's absolutely brilliant. I thought that it'd just be a good laugh for one playthrough and then I'd take it off. I've kept it on for every single playthrough after my first, and I think, like I say, it just showcases how great the original soundtrack is. But we're not here to talk about the original soundtrack. The actual music in the game and the audio is very subdued, and there isn't that much of it. There are periods of the game where there's either silence or a bit of ambience, but no real music, and I think it lacks a little something because of that. I can't really remember that much, because, like I say, I've only had one playthrough on the Xbox One and the PS4, 2 playthroughs altogether, with the Resident Evil 2 remake soundtrack, and I think it's a bit lacking. Some areas fit the bill, and others, like I say, it just seems like there's something a little bit lacking. The alarm music at the end of the game is quite good, although still not as good as the original Resident Evil 2 alarm music, which is the best in the series. Overall, it is what it is. It's okay, but it could have been better, I feel. Audio in terms of the zombies, the enemies, on point. They sound creepy. You can hear the floorboards creaking. Things like that. That's where the game really shines in terms of its audio. Playing headphones and whatnot, you get a fantastic, creepy atmosphere. Indeed you do. The voice acting was serviceable, not great, but we wouldn't expect that, but it wasn't terrible like the old Resident Evil games had, awful voice acting, of course. It was serviceable, it's what I expected, and I think the dude who played Leon, the lady who played Claire, did a pretty good job overall. I thought Annette's voice actress was good, same with Ada's. Yeah, Brian Irons, he was creepy as fuck. The guy who played Brian Irons, Chief Irons, did a good performance. Overall, the audio in the game, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Or maybe an 8 due to the actual music. Or Mr. X's footsteps as well, though. Absolutely fantastic and genuinely unsettling. Mr. X's music, his own music, and the plants' music in the lab, two of my favourite soundtracks in the game. Very creepy, the both of them. Achievements slash trophies. I've given this an 8 out of 10. I'm looking at a document on my computer here. Once you've played the game through once, you will get nearly half of them. I think it's a pretty good list. You've got a lot of gameplay ones. You've got an S rank achievement slash trophy. You've got one for completing it on hardcore. And then you've got the more hardcore ones for the big fans as well, like Frugalist, which is not using a health item for the whole game, which sounds insane to me, but I'm sure a lot of people have already done it. Not opening the item box once in the playthrough. You get the hit pouches, that'll be possible, but that's tricky as well. And also under 14,000 steps. And I've completed the game in 2 hours 13 minutes. That's my quickest time. It's not that quick. It did get me an S rank. Got that achievement now, but yeah, how quick do you have to be to get that one? I'm not sure. I've just today gotten the collectibles and all Mr. Raccoon toys. That is annoying because it's spread across Leon and then Claire's scenarios, and there's a few that are B scenario specific as well. There's two. If you're playing as Leon, there'll be 2 notes from Claire, and then vice versa. So it's a bit grindy, and the game doesn't tell you what files you've not got. So you could be left in a situation where you've got 56 out of 58 files, but you don't have a fucking clue which 2 you've not picked up. That happened to me, and thankfully it was on Claire's scenario today. I had to mop up a few achievements. I got 4 within one playthrough. I've now got 37 out of 43. I'm getting there for the platinum, although I don't think I'll quite get it because Frugalist is going to just boil my fucking blood. But yeah, overall, the achievements slash trophies, there's a good mix. I'm sure the hardcore fans will say that it's too easy, but whatever. Yeah, I think they've done pretty well. I do talk about the Frugalist ones, hard, and the grindiness of the files. Like I say, you've got to start up that B scenario and just get the raccoon. It's right at the start, but it's annoying. Anyway, we're going to talk about gameplay last. But now we're going to talk about the visuals. I have played Resident Evil 2 Remake on a vanilla Xbox One, a vanilla PS4 as well. Not played the PC version because my laptop is not strong enough to play it, unfortunately. Although I will buy it on Steam in the future when the price comes down, and wait until I get a better gaming rig and then play it. But yeah, the visuals are pretty damn good overall. In dark areas, it's creepy. The flashlight works really well, and there's a real satisfaction of seeing neon lights in the street, for example, when all the power's out mainly, but you've just got a few bright lights. The brightness in the dark areas is fantastic. There's a few wishy-washy graphics. This is something, I don't know how to articulate it properly, but this is something that I noticed with Red Dead Redemption 2. People were saying which game looked the better in 2018, Red Dead Redemption 2 or God of War. I played Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One. Didn't complete it because I thought it was pretty boring. But God of War, Jesus Christ, that game's graphics, possibly the best I've ever played anywhere. I'm no PC Master Race kind of guy with maxed out settings. I can't reach that, but yeah, I've never played a game as good as God of War looked. I thought it looked absolutely incredible. I don't think Resident Evil 2 reaches those standards, but I've not been able to see the game on an Xbox One X or a PS4 Pro. Apparently, Xbox One X, console-wise, is the best you're going to see this game. But if you're playing on the vanilla consoles like I have, then I can tell you that the PS4 vanilla looks better than the Xbox vanilla version of the game. You can really tell a difference, as you can between vanilla PS4 and vanilla Xbox One. You play the same game, you will notice it's a bit better on the PS4, but sometimes I think the frame rate suffers on the PS4, but not with Resident Evil 2 Remake. Yeah, the visuals, the zombies look great, the enemies, the lickers are unbelievable. Mr. X, fantastic. Leon and Claire, a lot of people complain, but I think they look good overall. All the characters, yeah, I've no real complaints. Let's have a look what I said here. Anything else I missed out? Yeah, a lot of variety with the zombies, a decent amount. The labs area looks amazing. The sewers, I don't like that area of the game, but it looks good. It does what it needs to. And overall, yeah, the graphics are nice. They're not the best graphics I've ever seen in the game, but they're certainly not bad. But there's some areas that look better than others. The labs, in particular, probably my favourite area of the game, in all honesty. I like how light it looks. I love how clean it looks when there's blood not on the walls and shit. But yeah, that's the visuals we've spoke about. I think, we've got visuals slash graphics. We've done achievements, trophies, audio. I guess there's just gameplay to go now. Although I feel like I've missed out a few other bits and bobs. But yes, the gameplay is my biggest problem with the game. I want to talk about first the things that I like about the gameplay, which is the puzzles, the backtracking, the inventory and item management. It's just like the old Resident Evil games, and I think, to be honest with you, it's the first time that it's been successfully done in a third-person game, and it just makes me wonder why we haven't been releasing games or playing games that have been made like this in the last 10 to 15 years. Resident Evil 4 is a masterpiece. It's more of an action-orientated game. There are a few puzzles here and there, but after Resident Evil 4, it's just flat-out gunplay all the time. The series got worse. And you look at games that I love, like The Last of Us, Dead Space 1 and 2, The Evil Within 1 and 2. They are survival horror games, but they're mainly survival horror games on the hardest difficulties because of the lack of ammunition, and it's that really satisfies me. Resident Evil 2 Remake, the gunplay is pretty shit, in my opinion. But there's a lot of backtracking and puzzles in this game, and they're not really difficult, but there are some where you need to figure out what the hell's going on, and there's logic to them. More so in Resident Evil 2 Remake than in the games that I just mentioned. Unlocking Leon's desk using the first initial, the letter of each of his fellow police officers' names. There's all sorts of combining items and developing film for key items and the lockers. There's a lot of puzzles in this game, and it's done really well because, like I said, they don't have to be really complicated, but some are based on story progression and will help you get further. Some you don't actually have to solve in order to make progress. There's the safes as well, which were fantastic, and you got the clues from getting the files. There's just a lot of elements of the classic Resident Evil games in this. It might be a bit watered down overall, but not that watered down, and that is the most satisfying aspect of this game for me. It doesn't matter how many times I complete this game, because the game is naturally very hard, and it is naturally very hard. In a year's time, I could play on survivalist difficulty, or standard difficulty I think it's called, as Leon or Claire, and get a really fun experience just killing the zombies, taking my time through the game, and knowing that the margins for error are very slim. You get bit a few times in this game, you're nearly dead. There's a decent amount of ammo. I think there's a right amount of ammo. Because of the gunpowder, you can create what you want to create, but at the same time, you do have to be somewhat careful. But there's a real finite amount of health. If you play badly, you can be left, it happened to me on hardcore, where you've got no health items left, or very few. So for example, on hardcore, making 2 separate saves is key if it's your first hardcore playthrough. But yeah, I'm going off on a tangent now, but backtracking, puzzles, and the traversal through the map. The map itself is fantastic. The fact that you can see items on the map that you haven't picked up, and it tells you when you've been in an area and when you haven't. That was in Resident Evil Remake, the original, but they've gone further in this game, and I've got to say, it's absolutely fantastic. Now, here come the criticisms, and I haven't criticised this game much because it hits the nail on the head and does what it needs to in most aspects. But my biggest issue with this game is, without a shadow of a doubt, how tanky the zombies are. They are rotting corpses. Why are they taking 15 headshots? Why are the G-monsters in your way and give you on-rails damage? Why is it that sometimes you get attacked and you don't take damage because seemingly the game is giving you a kind of mercy period, which is what it seems? It's bizarre. And the bosses as well. I like the first Birkin boss, the G1. That's quite good when you first meet him in the steam engine room, whatever the fuck it is. But the other Birkin fights, the third one's okay. The Mr. X one as Leon is garbage. Oh my lord, that is garbage. sometimes he just gets you, and you feel like you can't defend yourself properly. You feel like there should be some other kind of mechanic. I do like the defensive items, the knife, the hand grenade and the flash grenades, but sometimes you get hit, and the hit detection on this game is just, oh my lord, it's nauseating, it's fucking annoying. One of the most annoying things is the way that zombies can seemingly home in on you, and the grab range is just on another level of insanity. You feel like you've ran past them, and I don't know, Stretch Armstrong, they've got arms that are like 5 feet or something. I don't know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so what people end up doing now is they're shooting the zombies' legs, and that was never a thing in the old Resident Evil games, because you could hit him up and down, but you couldn't take the legs off with a handgun, just with a shotgun. The shotgun works well in this game. The Magnum works well. The grenade launcher works well, although not on the bosses. On lickers and zombies, it does what it has to. I love the additions to the guns, the upgrades. Like, there's 3 upgrades for Leon's Matilda. There's a few different upgrades for Claire's guns. Works really well. I love the fact that Leon gets a rocket launcher, Claire gets a Gatling gun. They both get the different boss fights after the G3. You know, Claire fights G again. Leon has Mr. X. Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. But, yeah, why are zombies so tanky? And why do lickers have the ability to seemingly transport throughout rooms? If you look behind you, they don't do that. But if you're looking ahead of you, they'll attack you and damage you, and it just feels cheap. The gameplay annoys me at times, but how tanky the zombies are is just insane. People shouldn't need to shoot the legs off the zombies all the time. They should have given you less ammo and made headshots easier, because headshots in this game are pointless. They're really pointless. Yeah, for me, give you less ammo, but make it so that, for example, 5 or 6 body shots would kill a zombie. Honestly, I don't even know if it's possible on Resident Evil 2. I bet it take about 40, 50 bullets to kill them if you kept shooting them in the chest. It's just madness. What were they thinking of, honestly? Honestly, as well, I don't know why I'm saying honestly again. I'm starting to go on a ramble now. I do think that the B scenarios, it's kind of cool that they put them in the game, but the ending of the B scenario was a bit watered down. They didn't say anything about taking out Umbrella, maybe because, obviously, they know now, Capcom, that after Resident Evil 2, no one, well, Umbrella kind of died themselves, didn't they? But obviously there was Resident Evil 3, which came out, which was set at the same time as 2, and then Code Veronica, but Code Veronica wasn't exactly taking out Umbrella. But I just feel like the end of scenario A, it's a bit of an anticlimax, but that's because the B scenario should have been the proper ending, and yet it still doesn't feel like it. It was a bit watered down and disappointing, and the last fight at the end of the train's really easy, but it was back in the day, to be fair as well. Overall, I think this has been a great success for Capcom. The game has sold very well, apparently, and I'm going to give this game, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10 on my document, but I'm thinking that's a bit harsh. But yet and still, 9 out of 10, I don't think so, because the gameplay really, really frustrates me, and I don't find it fun to kill the enemies, and I should. I do like, there's so much to talk about. I like the fact that you can swipe your knife at them. You get them on the floor. If you get all Rocky Raccoons as well, whatever he's called, you get the combat knife infinite, so it never runs out. That is fantastic, because that is easily the way they could have intended it to be. So you didn't get multiple knives, you got the same one, and it never ran out when you slash enemies with it. That is really cool. So if you got all raccoons, you can have that. I've now got it. After I did it today, I got all raccoons. But, yeah, they've now got the Ghost Survivors DLC, and I did both of them, and I died at the end because it is insane. I just feel like Capcom are missing a trick with the gameplay, and for me personally, it's because there's no Shinji Mikami anymore. That guy understands gameplay better than anyone ever has at Capcom. In terms of survival horror gameplay, you look at the Evil Within, with the match mechanic and the crossbow and everything, he gets it. I don't think Capcom fully get it. For me, with Resident Evil 3, although I don't want to touch upon it too much, I'm going to make a separate video sometime later this year, what I think they'll do with it and what I want them to do with it. It's my favourite Resident Evil game. I think make the zombies weaker. Make it so you can actually kill Nemesis, unlike Mr. X, who they made into a Nemesis figure. I didn't like that. Mr. X should not be an unstoppable enemy. but you can't kill him from open play. Big mistake, and I feel like people, when they play Resident Evil 3, will be like, well, we've already had an unstoppable enemy. So for me, make it so you can kill Nemesis, but he keeps coming back. Make him drop key items when you kill him, so there's a payoff. Make the zombies weaker, but give you less ammo. And many, many more things that I want from Resident Evil 3. But yeah, overall, Resident Evil 2 Remake, not quite a masterpiece, but a fantastic game, and one that I will be playing for many years to come. Incredible. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.